Well, personally, it took me about an hour longer to get home last night because I live south of Jefferson City. And so they closed the road at Highway 63 in Westphalia. And I had to go through the back roads to get to Lynn, and it took a little while to get back onto the highway and get back into familiar territory.
How has it impacted, Quaker? How has it impacted you guys here?
On a normal day, we have about 3% absenteeism. Today, we have about 25% absenteeism. Basically, if you live in Gasconade County or Phelps County, the roads to get here, unless you want to go 60 miles out of your way, you can't get there from here. 63 is obviously closed, and then all of the roads that traditionally people take as shortcuts are closed because of the crossing the Gasconade.
So how have you had to adjust, to make up for a quarter of your employees being absent?
Well, we're very fortunate in that we've done a lot of cross training over the past few years when things were a little slower for us. And so we've taken the people that are here and we've identified our key critical positions and we've backfilled people, so we're running the areas that we need to run to have a successful production day. Even though we won't get as many windows out if we would if everybody were here, we'll still have a good day.
Are you getting behind at all? How is this impacting, your production?
It has impacted our production, and it will impact our production. And to address that, we're just letting everybody know we're scheduled to work Friday and Saturday of this week. We work 4 10-hour days, and then we traditionally work the overtime on Friday. It's pretty rare for us to work Saturdays, and certainly with the whole factory, but we've scheduled the entire factory to work Friday and Saturday to try and make up for some of the lost production that we've had the past few days.
For the people who aren't here, are they still getting paid? Are they using sick days? What's going on with them?
They can use paid time off. If they don't have any available, we excuse them. They don't get paid for that, but it doesn't count against them from an attendance standpoint. We excuse them. And basically we're telling people, if you can make it in, come to work, we'll find something for you to do. If you can't make it in, we understand, just keep in touch with us.
Okay, so it's probably, you said it's rare for people to have to come in on a Friday and a Saturday. Has this ever happened before? Have you ever had this kind of, tell me about that.
We have, we had a flood, I don't remember if it was 2 years ago or, but we had a pretty significant flood on the Gasconade a couple years ago. And the difficult part is the rain isn't here. The rain is upriver, and so we're guessing as to when roads are going to close. And the last thing we want to do is have a bunch of people here and not able to get home. So we had people leaving as early as 9 o'clock yesterday morning. We had people leaving at noon yesterday. And finally, about 3 o'clock yesterday, we said, look, if you live on the other side of the Gasconade, why don't you go ahead and take off and get home, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
And there is more rain expected. It's actually raining outside right now. What are you going to do if these floods just get worse and more roads close, Friday and Saturday? What?
If somebody shows up to work, we'll be here and we'll work. And if we can't get anybody here, then we'll start back over again on Monday. It's the life of manufacturing. We have customers out there. The big thing is communications. We'll communicate with the customers that we're having some issues with the weather, and we have a lot of road closings, and it affects our deliveries also, because to get to Arkansas, there's a lot of ways to get there, but the way we would traditionally go would be to go down Highway 63, and we don't have that as an option right now. We have to find some other way to get to 63. So we communicate with the customers and let them know what's going on, and very, very good bunch of people that we work with, and they're pretty understanding of situations like this.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the deliveries. Can you tell me a little bit more about how it's impacting your deliveries and your ability to actually get the product out to the customer?
Well, we actually keep an eye on the weather across the United States because we deliver everywhere in the United States. So it may be 80 degrees and sunny here, but we might have a truck that's stopped in Colorado that can't go any further because of the high winds or because of a wildfire. We actually had a vehicle in New York City the day of the 9/11 attacks, and the guy called and said, what do I do? And I said, get home if you can, just be careful. Don't worry about delivering the product. It'll take care of itself when we can. But we have to pay attention to the weather all over the United States because it may be beautiful here, but it may be snowing in Minnesota. So.
Are the customers usually understanding if, you say, listen, we have these floods, we can't get a quarter of our employees here?
Yeah, they're very understanding. The construction industry is who we really service. I mean, ultimately the home buyers buy the windows, but somebody's building that house to put the windows in, or building that hotel that the windows go in, and they understand weather because they deal with it every day in their line of work too. So when it's raining and they've sent all their people home because they can't work, they know there are times whenever it's 80 degrees wherever they're at, and there may be inclement weather here and we can't do anything to help them.
So just to wrap things up, kind of, you seem pretty calm about it. Are you concerned at all about, the employees being here? Are you concerned about keeping up with everything? What is your major concern, if you even have one?
The biggest concern is the employees and their personal possessions. And we're pretty rural out here, and there's a lot of folks that live near the river. To the best of my knowledge, we had one employee who had to be rescued by boat this morning because he had 2 foot of water in his house when he woke up this morning. It's just them taking care of themselves and what's important, taking care of their families. Because we'll be making windows tomorrow and next week and the week after that.
Yeah, it seems kind of like you have your employees' safety at the top concern, even more so than your product. Tell me a little bit about that. You talked about it a little bit, but just tell me a little more about that.
Quaker's a family-owned business, and one of the predominant guidelines that we use is take care of what's important. Your family is the most important, and anytime we have somebody that has an issue and they come and they say, hey, I need this, we do whatever we can to try and help them. I mean, if I need to take a couple days off because of my mom and this situation, we say, hey, just communicate, let us know what's going on, take as much time as you need. I can't tell you how many times I've used that to end a conversation. Take care of what's important, take as much time as you need, just communicate with us.